This is Five Nights at Freddy's 4 101.
No theories, just the basics.
These videos are designed to help fans understand the convoluted lore within the FNaF universe.
We are not imposing our own biases and have designed this series to allow viewers to make their own theories.
This video will be presenting lore as it was originally introduced when this game was released and does not take into account information in later installments.
Five Nights at Freddy's 4 is largely different from previous FNaF entries, breaking away from the conventional storytelling and gameplay in the series. In this title, instead of a night guard defending himself against animatronic monsters in an office, the story revolves around a child defending themselves against mascot nightmares in a bedroom. Moreover, rather than utilizing a monitor to track the movement of mascot characters, the protagonist must repeatedly check two doors located on either side of the bedroom, a closet, and a bed situated behind them. Free moving mechanics are introduced for the first time in the franchise to allow the player to run between bedroom doors and turn around. A flashlight is granted as a means to ward off animatronics down hallways and atop the bed when they are present. Additionally, sound design has a bigger impact on gameplay survival, as heavy breathing indicates the unwelcome presence of animatronics at doorways, allowing the player to shut the door before flashing their light, which would otherwise trigger a jump scare and a death screen. Screeching sounds behind the player will indicate the presence of animatronics, which must be warded away with a flashlight before the player is jump scared.
The primary antagonists during the first 4 nights are as follows: Nightmare Freddy, the Freddles, Nightmare Bonnie, Nightmare Chica, and Nightmare Foxy. Nightmare Bonnie and Nightmare Chica will appear on the left and right hallways respectively. Failing to ward them away with a flashlight while they are present in the hallway or identify their presence at a doorway will result in a jump scare. If Nightmare Foxy is not averted in time, he will sneak into the bedroom and hide in the closet. In this instance, the player must hold the doors shut until a small Foxy plush appears in his place. The Freddles are miniature variants of Nightmare Freddy and will appear on the bed situated behind the player gradually until there are 3 in total. Once this occurs and the player neglects to check the bed, Nightmare Freddy will spawn, triggering a jump scare. On night 5, Nightmare Dreadbear will make his first character appearance and is the only animatronic the player must fend themselves against. This animatronic imitates the behavior of all other Nightmare animatronics, making Nightmare Dreadbear a far more challenging enemy.
Between each night, the player is expected to complete a minigame called Fun with Plushtrap, where you must successfully flash your light on a mascot named Plushtrap when he is over an X marked on the hallway's floor. Successfully completing the minigame will start the player at 2 a.m. Otherwise, failure will result in a jump scare and will start the next night at the standard 12 a.m.
Unlike the previous Five Nights at Freddy's titles, which had phone calls during each night to give the players insight into the lore and mechanics, Five Nights at Freddy's 4 has no official phone calls, although there are several toys present in the bedroom which mimic the objects found in the previous 3 game entries. Those include a blue and purple telephone and a purple fan. There is also a purple toy robot accompanying these 2 objects. Similar to the previous title, however, there are minigames between each night, unraveling a deeper story unfolding behind the scenes. In these minigames, it is crucial to pay close attention to the color of the text on the screen, as it is indicative of which character is speaking those lines. So, as we read, please take note, or else.
Prior to starting your first night, you will be met with a pre-night cutscene. White text will fade into view atop a black screen reading, 5 days until the party. As the text fades away, a sprite resembling a small yellow bear plush will appear. Yellow text above the plush will begin to fade in and out, reading, "What did he do this time? He locked you in your room again. Don't be scared. I am here with you." The game will then cut to a small bedroom inhabited with a crying child wearing a striped black and gray shirt. The player may move the child and walk about the room. A cluster of stuffed animals resembling the Freddy Fazbear crew can be seen sitting in the room's corner. Notably, the Foxy plush is missing its head. When interacted with, text reading, "These are my friends," will appear above the child. To the right of the player is a bed, and on the bed is the yellow bear plush. When the bedroom door is approached, binging noises sound as the child is seemingly restricted from leaving. After a few moments of knocking, the child will lay down and cry on the floor. Yellow text will appear again, stating, "Tomorrow is another day." ending the first minigame.
Completing night 1 will commence the next minigame. White text reading 4 days until the party will fade into view. Once again, the player is spawned in a bedroom as the same crying child from before. Yellow text will pop up stating, "You know he is hiding again." At this point, the player may control the crying child and leave his bedroom. Text reading, "He won't stop until you find him," will appear as you leave. To the right, another bedroom can be explored. Beside the pink bed, a dismantled mangle toy is present. While the crying child makes his way into the living room and reaches the TV, a human figure adorning a gray shirt and a foxy head will jump out from behind the television and scare the player. This causes the child to fall to the ground and cry once more. The same yellow text pops up again, stating, "Tomorrow is another day."
After completing night 2, white text will read 3 days until the party. The player will spawn into an unfamiliar setting as the same child from before lays on the ground crying. The surroundings appear to mimic a diner and can be assumed to be a Freddy Fazbear establishment. Yellow text will appear on screen reading, "He left without you. He knows that you hate it here. You are right beside the exit. If you run, you can make it." And after a brief pause, more text will read, "Hurry, run toward the exit." After these messages, if the crying child is toggled away from the exit, yellow text will stop you and say, "No! Don't you remember what you saw? The exit is the other way. Hurry and leave." However, when the exit is approached, an unknown individual wearing a yellow bear mascot suit will block the exit. Yellow text will appear on screen again. "It's too late. Hurry the other way and find someone who will help. You know what will happen if he catches you." If the player heads away from the exit again, shadowed silhouettes of a bear and a rabbit animatronic are noticeable deeper within the establishment. Yellow text tells the child, "You can find help if you can get past them. You have to be strong." However, once the crying child advances, the individual wearing the mascot suit will appear behind them, prompting the child to collapse and cry even harder. The yellow text will appear once more, stating, "Tomorrow is another day."
After night 3, the same white text from prior scenes will appear again, stating 2 days until the party. Similar to before, the player will spawn in as a child crying on the floor in the same diner from the previous minigame. Yellow text will state, "He hates you. You have to get up. You can get out this time, but you have to hurry." If the crying child is toggled towards the exit again, the person wearing the yellow bear suit from before will not appear, allowing you to leave the building. After exiting the restaurant, the player can interact with several other children as they traverse the exterior. Right outside of the establishment, there is a child wearing a green shirt with a heart graphic holding what seems to be a green-tinted rabbit toy. If talked to, the child will ask, "Where's your plush toy? Mine is Spring Bonnie. My daddy says I have to be careful with him or I will pinch my finger. He is a finger trap," he says. If the crying child walks down farther, they can interact with a pigtailed girl. When talked to, she will ominously talk about local legends revolving around the restaurant. "You'd better watch out. I hear they come to life at night. And if you die, they hide your body and never tell anyone. Why do you look so worried? See you at the party. Ha ha ha." Past the pigtailed girl and down even farther, the crying child can also talk to a boy wearing a green shirt, laughing on the sidewalk. When spoken to, he will taunt the crying child, asking, "Aren't you the kid who always hides under the table and cries? No one else is scared. Why are you? Stop being such a baby." If the crying child walks left and then upwards towards a playground, they can interact with another girl who appears to possess action figures reminiscent of the toy animatronics from Five Nights at Freddy's 2. When spoken to, she will ask, "Why are you crying? Don't you like my toy collection?" The figure resembling Toy Chica is notably missing her beak and is set beside her in the collection of toys. Once you return to the sidewalk, the crying child can walk left and meet a boy holding a pink balloon. When talked to, he will ask, "Are you going to the party? Everyone is going to the party. Oh wait, you have to go. It's your birthday."
When the crying child finally reaches their home and enters their bedroom, the character sporting the foxy head will jump out from under the bed, frightening the child once again. Once the crying child falls to the ground, the message, "Tomorrow is another day," will appear once more. Interestingly, or rather disturbingly, on the child's path home, the yellow bear plush can be seen hidden somewhere in each frame. Outside of the building, peeking over the green car. Down the sidewalk, the plush's head is in the flowers. On the sidewalk corner, watching from the storm drain. Behind the playground, by the fencing. Past the balloon child, toward the bottom left corner, behind a flower. And finally, near the entrance of the crying child's house.
One day until the party will appear after completing night 4. The child is now locked in what seems to be a parts and service room for the restaurant establishment. Various pieces of mascot suits and endoskeletons are scattered around the room on shelves and the floor. The player can't move the crying child around at all. White text will eventually appear on screen, presumably the child pleading, "Please let me out. Please?" The crying child then falls over and cries on the floor. "Please let me out," he calls out once again. Then the screen will fade to black.
After finishing night 5, white text reading 0 days until the party will appear. The minigame opens with the crying child surrounded by older-looking children wearing masks of the original Foxy, Bonnie, Chica, and Freddy. The player still cannot move the child. Blue text pops up saying, "Wow, your brother is kind of a baby, isn't he?" Gray text replies, "It's hilarious. Why don't we help him get a closer look? He'll love it." White text then appears, presumably the crying child, begging, "No, please." Gray text responds, "Come on, guys, let's give this little man a lift. He wants to get up close and personal." The 4 older children lift the crying child up and carry his flailing body throughout the diner, to the left of the screen toward a yellow bear animatronic. Gray text refers to the animatronic as Fredbear and says to give him a kiss. They lift the crying child into Fredbear's singing mouth, laughing all the while until the animatronic bites down and crushes the crying child's skull and upper torso. The older kids stop laughing, and the screen fades to black. It is worth noting that the animatronic wears a purple top hat and tie, which is reminiscent of the yellow bear plush seen throughout the game. Instead of starting the next night, the player will be greeted with the main menu, with a new option to play night 6 and a star at the bottom left of the screen.
Advancing on to night 6, all Nightmare animatronics are operative until Nightmare Fredbear becomes active at 4 a.m. Once this night is completed, there is one last cutscene involving the crying child. The crying child is seen sitting in a dark room, with the Fredbear plush sitting beside him. The rest of the mascot plushies are visible farther away. Gray text pops up on top of the screen, presumably the older sibling. "Can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me. I'm sorry." A lighter yellow text will then appear. "You're broken. We are still your friends. Do you still believe that? I'm still here." The plushies farther away will then begin to fade one by one. A lighter yellow text will then appear. "I will put you back together." Finally, the plush Fredbear will fade away as well. The boy cries more than before while a faint flatline sound is overheard in the background.
During night 7, or nightmare mode, all animatronics are active until 4 a.m. A black animatronic mimicking the model of Nightmare Fredbear, appropriately nicknamed Nightmare, is introduced at this time, replacing Nightmare Fredbear as the night's final antagonist. Once he is outlasted, the player is suddenly presented with a locked chest sitting in a starkly black room. Faded white font will appear above the chest, stating, "Perhaps some things are best left forgotten for now."
An extras menu can be unlocked if the player has completed night 5. However, unlike FNaF's 3 extras menu, which permits you to replay minigames, this extras menu does not. Within the extras, however, there is a gallery where the first 6 Nightmare animatronics are unlocked for a full model view. A progressive gallery of the making of Nightmare Foxy is also unlocked at the same time. Completing night 6 will unlock another progressive gallery for the making of Nightmare Fredbear. There is also a jump scare menu which allows the player to replay animatronic jump scares once this night is defeated. Fun with Plush Trap is also unlocked as a replayable level at this time. The Nightmare model is not unlocked until Nightmare mode has been completed.
After completing Nightmare mode, the player can unlock Night 8 by visiting the extra screen and typing 20 4 times using the number keys. If entered correctly, Nightmare mode will change to 20-20-20-20 mode, and the player can start Night 8. This level is very similar to Night 7, except that the animatronic AI is significantly more aggressive.
Cheats are unlocked once Nightmare Mode has been completed. There are 3 different cheats that can be activated during gameplay. House Map, which grants the player a visual location of each animatronic. Fast Nights, which simply makes nights go by faster, and Danger Indicator, which visually warns the player of an animatronic's presence if they are at either doorway.
There are also challenge modes which unlock stars showcased on the menu screen. 4 stars can be obtained once Nightmare Mode is completed with any of the 4 challenges active. A 5th star can be obtained if Nightmare is beaten with the challenges Mad Freddy, Insta-Foxy, and Blind Mode active. A 6th star is earned once Nightmare is beaten with the challenges All Nightmare and Blind Mode active. For reference, Blind Mode makes the player screen completely black, Mad Freddy causes the Freddles to spawn far quicker, Insta-Foxy will automatically spawn Foxy in the closet at the start of the night, and All Nightmare will trigger Nightmare to appear from 12 AM to 6 AM.
There is a rare chance for a reversed and low-pitched version of Phone Guy's Night 1 phone call from the very first game to be heard as background ambience.
The photographs seen around the bedroom, left hall, and right hall are actually taken by game developer Scott Cawthon. There is a picture of a mountain range Scott took when he was a truck driver in West Texas, another picture of a snowman that Scott and his older sons built, and finally, a picture of his pet mockingbird that he and his family helped nurse back to health.
Occasionally, a vase filled with flowers, a dram filled with medication, or an IV drip has the chance to appear next to the bed when you turn around while surviving nights.
And, like in previous FNaF installments, the plush Freddy sitting atop the bed can be booped to emit a honk noise.
There are 2 instances during the minigames where the player can observe rare events. Firstly, during the 3rd minigame, rather than advance deeper into the restaurant after Plush Dreadbear asks the crying child to be strong, you can go back into the previous party room to witness a purple guy sprite helping someone into a mascot suit. Once purple guy places a mascot head onto the individual, the doors will close. Secondly, when the house is entered near the end of the 4th minigame, a show called Fredbear and Friends with a copyright date of 1983 can be viewed on the television screen after pressing enter on your keyboard.
There are notable names found within the game files that we felt were important to note. The older sibling sprite with the Foxy mask is titled Bully. The group of kids who force the crying child into Fredbear's mouth are named Bullies. The sprites of the character that scared you from behind the TV and under the bed are labeled Foxy Scare. The shadowed silhouettes of Fredbear and what we can assume to be Spring Bonnie observed during the 3rd minigame are named SF and SB. And finally, the image file for Nightmare in the extras menu is called Shadow Freddy in the files.
There is evidence to suggest that initially, when Nightmare jump scared you, the player was supposed to be teleported into another frame or level. However, decompiling the game and opening it in ClickTeam reveals that this scene has been deleted for unknown reasons. The first 4 promotional teasers for FNaF 4 showcase each one of the Nightmare animatronics. Was It Me is stated on each one of the teasers. However, if you brighten these images, the word Nightmare will be displayed across them. The 5th teaser is a picture of a purple hat and bow tie. When brightened, it states property of followed by a name, where only the first 2 and last 2 letters are legible. The 6th teaser is a likeness of a Nightmare animatronic's torso. When brightened, it says, "Or was it me?" The 7th and final teaser is an image of Plushtrap with the caption, "Terrible things come in small packages." When brightened, it reveals the 4 different doorways present in the Fun with Plushtrap minigame.
Akin to Five Nights at Freddy's 3, some of the promotional teasers for FNaF 4 on ScottGames.com include secrets in the source code. These codes are significantly longer than FNaF 3's, so we've placed them on screen for you to analyze in your own time. We have also paired these codes with their appropriate teaser image. Please note that these source codes repeatedly utilized numbers 8 and 7. Scott Cawthon's copyright code was even notably altered to reflect this pattern for a brief period of time. However, strangely enough, 2 days before the release of the game, this pattern was disrupted with code involving the numbers 8 and 3. Notably, the final teaser utilizes Caesar's cipher hints, which spells out Plushtrap.
The Halloween update is a free revision for Five Nights at Freddy's 4. Once downloaded, there are 2 versions of FNaF 4 to choose from after booting up the game: the canonical Standard Edition and the Halloween Edition. With the exception of Nightmare Freddy and Nightmare Dreadbear, all of the Nightmare animatronics are reskinned to reflect a Halloween aesthetic. The newly introduced animatronics in this update include Jacko Bonnie, Jacko Chica, Nightmare Mingle, Nightmarion, and Nightmare Balloon Boy. All of the minigames are decorated with Halloween props such as jack-o'-lanterns, hanging bats, and cobwebs. Furthermore, some standard colors for the environments are altered to achieve a Halloween feel. There are actually several teaser images released for the Halloween reskin. The first teaser for the Halloween edition features the jawless head of Jacko Bonnie. The teaser's file name is In the Dark. The second teaser featured Nightmare Balloon Boy. When brightened, it has a dark red text on top stating, "Hello?" The teaser's file name is also In the Dark. The third teaser showcases a plush Freddy. Brightening up this image will reveal Nightmarion. The teaser's file name is Don't Wake the Baby. The fourth teaser is a pitch black image with orange font reading Come Hang Out. Brightening up this image will reveal Nightmare Mangle. The teaser's file name is Go to Pieces. The fifth and final teaser to the Halloween update shows the image changed to that of a still frame of Jacko Chica's right hall jump scare. Furthermore, the same styled font text reads See You Soon. The file's name is Boo. Now, it is interesting to note, both Nightmare and Nightmarion's jump scares differ greatly from the other antagonists in this game. Still images of their visages will appear on screen, reminiscent of Golden Freddy's jump scares from the first FNaF, and will be accompanied by a static noise.
A few months after release, Scott Cawthon posted a development message on Steam for FNaF 4 regarding the Halloween update and information surrounding the lore of the base game. Scott opened his message discussing his excitement for the Halloween reskin and teased a new Five Nights at Freddy's game in the works. However, Scott also addressed the box showcased on Night 7, which, at this time, stirred up a lot of controversy within an already theory-fractured fandom. He remarked on the quick wits of the FNaF fandom, impressed with their ability to quickly solve the lore in the first 3 entries of his series, stating, "It seemed that there was nothing I could hide." However, he continued, "But then I released part 4 and somehow, no one, not a single person, found the pieces. The story remains completely hidden. I guess most people assumed that I filled the game with random Easter eggs this time. I didn't. What's in the box? It's the pieces put together. But the bigger question is, would the community accept it that way? The fact that the pieces have remained elusive this time strikes me as incredible and special, a fitting conclusion in some ways, and because of that, I've decided that maybe some things are best left forgotten, forever." To date, FNaF 4 and its box remain as some of the biggest mysteries within the franchise.
Thanks everyone for watching. Because FNaF 4 is still so heavily debated due to its convoluted nature, please theorize with an open mind. There is a lot of misinformation concerning this title in particular, so it's very important to be flexible with your theories and respectful to your FNaF peers. A popular fanon theory does not make something canon.
We'll be releasing our FNaF World video next. It's a fairly hefty game, so bear with us as we polish our script and triple check our sources. Leave a comment down below and let us know if we missed anything.
Until then, remember to smile. You are the face of the Five Nights at Freddy's fandom.
See you on the glitch side.